material, but maybe not ideal material, but it's certainly something I can work with to build a quick shelter. I've never posted any kind of video of me doing any type of camping, or at least not survival or primitive camping, maybe camping with my family, but that's a little different. And so the purpose of this video is just to show you I've found what I would say is a clearing in all of this thick brush, and this is a fairly open area, and so I thought it would be a good place to build a shelter. I'm going to put together a lean-to. I don't have a lot of time. It's kind of late in the afternoon, although you couldn't tell it by the way I'm sweating. It is hot in Florida. Temperatures are in the mid-90s right now, and so really be nice to get into some shade. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut a ridgepole, and I have found 2 trees that I can wedge it in. You see this little fork in this tree. I'll be putting the ridgepole in here, and then again put the other side of the ridgepole in this tree, either here, and I'll probably have to secure it with some lashing, or maybe here. But so anyway, that's my first step, get my ridgepole put together. I'm actually going to leave my opening facing this little creek that you can see down here. There is some activity in that creek, probably some crawfish in there, definitely some minnows. Not a huge source of food source, but you know, I'm not planning on staying out here for a couple of months. This is temporary, but that would be a good stream to get some drinking water from. You know, boil it up in about 7 to 10 minutes, and it should be fine. So anyway, I will stop the video right now. I'll come back when I have the ridgepole, and I'm going to cut a ridgepole, and then I'm going to cut some branches to you know, create the lean-to to come from the ridgepole down to the ground. And then I'll be looking for some palmetto branches to really make it weatherproof and weather-tight. And so that's going to be my process. So I'll join you again, or you'll join me in a few minutes. Okay, so I've cut the ridgepole, and you see I've got it wedged there in that tree. And then again here, I'm going to get some vines to make cordage, tie that on, make it secure. And then I'm going to start getting some of my support branches to create the lean-to. And then after that, you know, I'll get the palm branches, which will create the water shedding effect. One of the reasons I picked this site is because the morning sun is going to be coming from this direction, and there's pretty good clearing up here. But my lean-to is going to be coming from right here down to the ground. So it's going to provide shade from the morning sun and midday sun. And then in the afternoon, there's a natural shade right here with the trees behind me. So I should be able to have protection from sunlight pretty much 24 hours a day. And boy, I tell you, in this Florida sun, that's important. All right, I'll join you in a minute. Okay, well, I've got some cordage to lash my my ridgepole onto the tree, and then my supports for my lean-to as well. And it's just vines, you know, it's just simple vines. I'll probably pull some of those leaves off, but it's really not necessary. It's more than sufficient. This would be, of course, a temporary lodging. You know, it wouldn't be permanent. The idea would be to construct this in an afternoon just to keep you out of the wind and rain and, you know, harsh conditions, and then, you know, let it last for a few days while you're building something a little more substantial. Although it could be a long-term place to stay as well. So basically all right, well, I've taken care of getting the cordage and tying all of my, you know, my ridgepole and then support beams onto the lean-to. And now I'm going to be collecting some of these palmetto leaves and branches, which you can see here. There is an abundance of them in this area. If you just can look out across the landscape there, you see they're everywhere. So I'm just going to collect quite a bit of those. It's going to take quite a few in order to waterproof my shelter. But that's what I'm going to be doing next. My tool of choice for this is a machete. Machete would be great in this kind of situation, but I like the palmetto bushes. I like to call them user-friendly plants. You know, you can use a lot of different plants, but some are just user-friendly and make it a lot easier to handle. These branches, they cut off really easily, and it doesn't take long to collect quite a few, whatever you want to use them for. You can use them for the shelter, but you also can use them as a base for your bed.
For some reason at this point my audio messed up on my camera, and so I couldn't hear what I was saying, but I'm just basically showing you the lean-to after the palm branches were attached to the structure and making it waterproof. And then you can see that I am going into the lean-to at that point. In just a minute I'm going to be laying down and just demonstrating how you would rest and have some reprieve from the sun. And so you can see that right here. At this point, I did not demonstrate this, but I would have also made a bed, and the base of the bed would have been the palmetto branches. It would have given you a good solid foundation, and then on top of that I would have come back with pine straw, and also there was some really thick grass that could have been used to make a nice soft bed.
Prepare a much nicer dwelling, but this is something that could be done in the afternoon, especially if you were concerned about bad weather coming in, and this would protect you. And actually I kind of like the location because right next to me is this little creek bed, and knowing the area, I guess, could you see that? Yeah, knowing the area, knowing that we live so close to the coast, we really don't worry about flash floods right here where we are. Water drains off really quickly. I'm not worried about that being an issue. This is high and dry, and stays high and dry. Nice little protection even from the afternoon sun because of all the growth that's right here in front of me. And that's it. That is my temporary shelter. Keep me out of the weather for a couple of nights while I work on something a little more permanent. But yeah, it's not a lot to it, you know. It's a ridgepole, support branches, some kind of foliage, boughs of some kind of tree, in this case palmetto branches, in order to shed the water. And there you go. So let me just back out of here and let you get one more look at it. See if we can give you a shot, maybe from right here, get somewhat of a panoramic view of the shelter. And yeah, there we go. Everything tied together quite nicely. All right. Well, I guess that concludes my video. I've never really done a video of anything like this, so kind of rough and raw, but you get the idea nonetheless. And so I was glad to share that with you. Okay.